Alright, this has a AC compressor delete on it, so I remove the belt. To do that, you've got to loosen the idler pulley down there and loosen that, take your belt off, and then we're going to take those 4 or 3 in this case screws out of here. Alright, now that I removed that, I see why they only had 3 bolts in there, because one of them is broken off into the bracket. Typical with this Jeep. So I guess if I want to do it right, I should drill that out. Alright, I slowly am drilling it out with a reverse bit. I got these little left-handed drill bits from Harbor Freight that work pretty good. So you just keep drilling it until you get to about the right size, and then I'll tap it down. Alright, and then now that I got it drilled out, I'm going to re-tap it. Alright, I'm going to add 4 ounces, comes with a little measuring cup, of this PAG oil into the compressor. Alright, now that I've got the compressor mounted, I only put 3 bolts. That's the one I tapped, so that works good. I just got to get another one for here. I got to go to the accumulator, and I'm going to remove these 2 clips right there. They just pull out. Okay, then to get this accumulator out, there's a bolt. Let's see here. Right there, if you can see it. Right there, you gotta loosen that one. And we've got to take these clips off here. They just pop off like that. And you've got to unplug this. And you've got to loosen these to take the lines off. Now to get the air conditioner lines off, you're going to need to wrench you one of these. Use a couple of these. Basically, you put it behind the collar, and when you push, it will loosen that up. What happens when you push this over that, if you see that little spring in there, focus, focus. It pushes on that spring and allows it to pop out. So it goes around here, up into there just like that, and then you pull back. Alright, this says 240 cc of oil. Since I'm going to evacuate the whole system, there's about 29.5 cc's per ounce, so that's actually a little over 8 ounces. So I've got to put more in the compressor. And as you see, I've gotten both of them undone, and I'm about to flush the evaporator core. Now, unfortunately, I don't have enough camera gear to be able to show you this, but what you do is you take this and you hold it in here, and you press that button, and that flush goes in here, and it won't come out of the other side. So once you put about half of the can in the evaporator core, again, you stick it in there, fill it up. Then what I did was I took a blow gun with a filter so the air could be as dry as possible, bunch of electrical tape, shoved it in here like that, and then when you hit the button, you will get out of the other side. And that's kind of green. It looks like somebody had some stop leak in here before. I also disconnected the line to the condenser because I'm going to flush these lines here. And as you see, there's O-rings on it that need to be replaced, because the last thing I want to do is do this and have a leak. I don't think I can flush the condenser because the holes are too small, but I can definitely flush these lines. Okay, I figured out in this complete AC kit I got from AutoZone that this tube that came with it is actually a splice. The original Orifice liquid tube here has an orifice tube built in it, and they want you to cut this out, put this in here, and you'll use one of those tubes. Now on each end you want to replace the spring in each O-ring. Alright, the condenser is flushed out. Put 2 new O-rings and a new spring on there, so we're just going to pop that right on. Alright, I got this orifice tube line in with the little thing. It clicked, and so now it's time for the rest. So next I'm going to put the accumulator down in the bracket. The way this works, you get your spring. These springs go right up in here. Just like that. Then put your O-rings, 2 on that one, 1 on that one. Make sure you use the right size. And the line that goes to the compressor, you've got to change these little things. And it came with 2 new ones. I'm going to clean that up first with a wire wheel. I got to get this pressure switch. I guess that's a low pressure switch, and put it there. I also bought a new AC clutch fuse. The one that goes right here. It was blown, probably clutch or something was bad on the last one. I hope it's not a wiring issue. Bought a new. These things are $5 a piece. Let's hope it don't blow. Make sure you inspect these tools before you get them from AutoZone. This cap right here is cracked, and so much for pulling a vacuum when it's going to leak right out of there. All right, don't be like me and inspect your vacuum pump. So I've got the vacuum pump hooked up to the yellow line here, and the low side connected there, and the high side connected there right at the top of the compressor. All right, here we go. I've got our low pressure line, high pressure line hooked up. I've opened the low pressure valve. I've opened the high pressure valve. So as you see, we're on 0, and it looks like that gauge is a little irregular on the high side. It's a little below 0. So I'm going to turn this vacuum pump on, and hopefully it will start sucking down when I open this up. There we go. Yep, it's pulling a vacuum. All right, we want about All right, it's been holding the vacuum for about an hour, so now I'm going to open the valves up and pull a vacuum for about 45 minutes to an hour. Alright, this can shows 18.3, but it only has 12 ounces. That's the weight of the can in this. I've already punctured it, opened it, so now we are going to purge any air. Alright, now it's time to start and turn the AC on. Put it on cold. Now hopefully this compressor will kick on in a minute. Did get some new shoes for the Open Country Toyo AT3. Different than the AT2. This is a new type. Much cheaper than the BFG KO2s, but probably not as good, but I don't need the KO2s on this. Alright, let me make these mistakes so you don't have to make these mistakes. So I took apart this old compressor to kind of see how it worked. And I noticed there's a fill, looks like an oil drain plug on the side with a gasket. So you know what I did? I just figured out my problem, I think. I put the oil in here, but if I did that, there's nowhere for the oil to go. The oil goes in here. So I'm going to remove the compressor. I can't believe I did that. Well, this is where I'm leaving off. I've drained what looks like just a few ounces out of the compressor. Sure enough, it does have an oil fill hole. Don't ask me why I didn't see that. It tells you right here where to fill. I don't know. Never done an AC compressor before. I don't think I ruined it, but what it did do was waste a lot of money because now I got to flush all this out again. Because now there's oil everywhere. So stay tuned. Well, if you ever wanted to see what the inside of one of these compressors look like, this is it. It looks like it's got 7 little pistons, and it's a strange little clutch mechanism here. You see, and on the inside of this fits angled up in there, kind of weird. The only reason I took this apart was to harvest these bolts before I threw it away. Well, there's one thing I learned: leave the air conditioning work to the professional. Man, that thing gave me fits. I put oil in the wrong spot, and I just couldn't get it to take. When it finally took some Freon, it kept blowing out of the back valve. So I think I forgot it all back together. My condenser might be plugged. It has an orifice tube, but doesn't have an expansion valve. I already changed the orifice tube. So I think what I'm going to do is just bring it to a professional, let them charge it up. So happy Easter, take care, bye-bye.